I am Muarim. I am a Laguza. Get away!
I'll hurt you if you don't.
Our latest Fallen Grand Hero battle unit is Fallen Muarim, and boy does he make a statement. Generally in past years, the Fallen Grand Hero battle unit is usually pretty decent with all of them having unique weapons, but nothing super broken. Last year Orson was a unit I was excited to see in Fae, but he definitely felt more disappointing compared to the previous year's Ashnard. This year, Muarim is setting a new standard for sure. He's a blue beast infantry unit with 45 HP, 43 attack, 40 speed, 31 defense, and 23 res, super high attack, amazing speed, and a speed super boon to top it off. At the cost of lower defense and res, Muarim does come with higher base HP. We've had some slow and bulky free-to-play beast infantry units, but Muarim is going to be on the hunt with those offensive stats. He's got the highest base attack in the game for any beast unit, topping the infamous Fallen Edelgard, and he's the fastest blue beast in general. For his Wild Tiger Fang, Muarim gets some special treatment. It has 14 might, 61 transformed, and it adds another +3 attack as well. At start of each turn, inflict -6 to all stats on all foes within 4 spaces through their next actions. That is actually amazing. This is not a menace skill, but more like a 4-space super threaten skill. Any unit within 4 spaces gets massively debuffed, which means Muarim might be a nice teammate for debuff dependent teams. You just gotta watch out for units like Fallen Ike or Dual Crom. Now, at start of combat, if the foe has more than 75% HP, Muarim also gets +6 attack and speed and neutralizes enemy field buffs during combat. What in the world is this weapon? -6 debuffs around him every turn, +6 attack and speed, and the full low effect. To make things even more interesting, Fallen Muarim is the first beast unit to have a unique beast transformation condition. At start of turns 2 and 4, and then all later turns, Muarim will transform. On turns 1 and 3, he's going to revert to normal. Important to understand, he can be next to non-dragons or beast allies, and he'll transform regardless. Additionally, once turn 4 hits, Muarim is permanently transformed, and that's generally what you want. Now, as a beast infantry, he also gets the new class-specific bonus. Muarim will deal +7 damage on special trigger, and he gets the now so-called tempo effect, no guard with no special charge. However, when he's transformed, Muarim will take 5 recoil damage after combat if he does attack. So I was just mentioning last month when Tabarn's Refine hit that I would have liked to see the Laguz Rose get some kind of transformation add-on, like maybe a guaranteed turn 1 transform. In the Telias games, beast transformations are a bit more nuanced in Fae, but the Royals like Tabarn or Nyla could stay permanently transformed, which is why they're so busted. Well, now lo and behold, they actually give a different transformation condition to Muarim just a month later. This references a moment when Muarim cannot control his transformations after being drugged to turn into a feral one. Wild Tiger Fang is pretty insane, with the main downside being that Muarim always reverts, or he's not going to transform, on turn 1 and 3. Still, the main effects of Wild Tiger Fang do not depend on transforming. It's only the tempo effect, the +7 damage on special trigger, and the recoil damage. For the rest of his base kit, nothing too crazy. Dragon Fang to go with his very high base attack, Wrath 3 to give +17 total extra damage on special procs when transformed, plus Temple's No Guard to spam specials. Then you got even attack wave for +6 attack, since Muarim does transform on turn 2 and 4 no matter what. Wrath is probably the most interesting option since it works very nicely with the beast infantry bonus, and Muarim will be taking recoil damage, which could get him into Wrath range faster. It could also help charge up a special like Dragon Fang when a new turn happens, which means big burst damage for initiation. For merging, Fallen Muarim is going to get +1 HP attack and speed for the neutral nature. Not bad at all if you don't want to spend trade fruits. That said, the speed super boon is very nice if you want him to go super fast, and more speed never hurts. If you pick up the attack boon, that would get him to 50 attack at +10 merges, and with Wild Tiger Fang, that puts Muarim at 69 flat attack. Does not include his in-combat buffs. Very nice. In terms of free-to-play comparisons, not a lot to talk about because Muarim is our first Heroic Grail or demoted beast infantry to even have more than 30 speed. This guy is blazing fast with even higher base attack. His res is not great at all, and his defense does take a hit, but he still has decent HP for an infantry unit. In general, Muarim won't be the best long-term tank anyway, since he's going to be taking recoil damage after combat. For fun, if you look at speedy 5-star beast infantry units, we got 3 Nylas, 2 Valorias, and Raphael. OG Nyla and New Year's Valoria are the other 2 blue beast units. Raphael is as well, but he's a dancer. While OG Nyla got a neat refine, obviously if you want to merge a free-to-play friendly unit, then Muarim is pretty much the go-to for now. Compared to the recent Nyla ults, Muarim sacrifices some defense and res for the higher HP and attack. His speed is definitely fine for a free unit. For playstyle, Muarim is very interesting. While he's always untransformed on turn 1 and 3, you do not need to worry about being adjacent to non-beast or dragons for turns 2 and 4 and beyond. This is something that is important for team comms and for maps that have limited space. Muarim could still function next to your other units. Also fun is that Wild Tiger Fang just emits a giant debuff zone which allows Muarim to help his whole team even if he isn't fighting. That is a really nice benefit, and it can come in clutch in messy team fights if the enemy is closing in. Just watch out for unity effects. Now, for personal combat, Muarim is a great offensive threat. Combine his debuffing zone with +6 attack and speed, buff neutralization, and great base stats for a solid unit even untransformed. If Muarim does turn on beast mode, he gets extra damage on special procs, plus he gets tempo, and again that synergizes with Wrath 3 for even more damage if a special does go off. If Muarim ends a fight with Dragon Fang on 1 cooldown while in Wrath range, he's gonna charge it up for next turn, and that's a big nuke, so you gotta watch out for that. For obvious reasons, you can kit him out with the usual attack and speed boosting options, Swift Sparrow, Blade Session, and even Brazen attack and speed if you want to go for the desperation route. Speaking of which, Muarim does lose 5 HP when transformed after combat, so you do have to expect him to dip low eventually. You could run more Fury skills if you really want, but he's gonna burn out faster. Something like Vantage could also be used here. If you initiate from really long range, you could use a smoke debuff to hit foes outside the initial force-based debuff. Even though Wild Tiger Fang will debuff foes next turn, you want to survive, or you want the survivability for the coming enemy phase. If you want some better field buffs, attack speed oath or Rouse C skills can work. Additionally, with tempo active, Heavy Blade or Flashing Blade are open to score 3 turn specials in 1 round. Draconic Aura or Luna work, and I'll throw a quick mention to Miracle as a special. Muarim does not have the highest long-term survivability, but because of his force-based debuff zone, you may want to keep him alive for a turn. If the entire enemy team starts collapsing around Muarim, his mass debuffs could allow other units to clean up. For example, any units with the Blizzard effect, Dominance, or the Pledgeon/Vulture Tomes could use those debuffs for themselves. Now, for premium skills, if you watched my last 2 videos, you already know we got to talk about Speed Smoke 4. Beast Infantry cannot run dodge beast skills, but Muarim can get it for the enemy phase to help survive, and you can pair this with his inherent tempo plus no follow-up, where like a Swordmaster, at least 1 Speed Smoke 4 procs. That's the big thing to remember because these tier 4 smokes are amazing, but they don't do anything for the player phase. It's more for mixed phase usage with attack and speed smoke 4 providing survivability perks. Now, if dodge can help Muarim live a turn, you could have a great synergy with Surge Sparrow. Brave Erica has made me addicted to the Surge plus no guard combo, and Muarim can do the same with tempo. It's great with heavier Flashing Blade to hit higher cooldown specials like Dragon Fang or Draconic Aura, and that means higher max % HP healing. Even Moonbow or Glimmer will net Muarim 50% HP. Tons of attack and speed to hit hard, you get no follow-up to double tanks, and you got healing. Then for the enemy phase, you could deny enemy follow-up attacks, you block heavy or flashing blade effects, and you have dodge with big speed advantages. Keep in mind that you have to be active to proc Speed Smoke 4 for dodge, so Muarim can't just sit around with distant counter builds and get the damage reduction. Maybe if beast units could run Vital Astra or actual dodge skills, I would think about it, but they can't. You could run distant counter, but with Wild Tiger Fang's recoil and lack of always active dodge, I don't think it's the best option. If you want more immediate player phase deletion power, Times Pulse never hurts, especially with something like heavier Flashing Blade. That could get Muarim to trigger Dragon Fang for the big burst, and you have no guard to always proc it. Times Pulse with Draconic Aura also works well if you want double attack and speed boosting skills. Another special option is Special Spiral, but without excited specials, it's a little weird. You could do Surge Sparrow plus Special Spiral for potential double special procs. There's also Steady or Darting Breath, but again, I do think Muarim is better when hunting down a target first. Let's now talk about Gale Force usage. With the recoil from Wild Tiger Fang, you could set up a double recoil build to set up a Wings of Mercy beacon. Ideally, Muarim has Times Pulse for 4 quid on Gale Force, and then you're going to need Flashing or Heavy Blade for the double proc. Double Fury might be better, but Muarim needs that extra cooldown somehow. Maybe you could use Fallen Indian, which would solve that problem. Now, even if you aren't focused on Wings of Mercy strategies, Gale Force is still a viable choice due to having no guard. Last, I want to talk about utility. With his decent HP, you could run HP-based support skills like Infantry Pulse or Sudden Panic or Panic Ploy. Panic is kind of interesting because it will stack with Wild Tiger Fang's -6 debuff zone. If the enemy relies on field buffs, they could get extra screwed. For the same reasons, you could also run Panic Smoke in the C slot. As a reminder, the low effect does not affect panicked field buffs, they only neutralize positive field buffs. So, should you promote Fallen Muarim to 5 stars? Well, the answer is definitely yes, at least one copy to have around. We do not get a ton of beast units, so the free-to-play ones are appreciated. Muarim goes full offense, which is a nice change of pace from the common slower stat spread. He's going to be weak to magic though. Now, the reason I do think he's worth having one copy around is that while Takeover Fang offers more than just pure offense, the -6 debuff zone is hilariously good to be tacked onto a super offensive unit. Not only does Muarim love it, but anyone on his team can utilize those debuffs, and it hits everything within 4 spaces. The only downside is running into unity stacking units. The combat effect is also nice with +6 attack and speed and low to neutralize field buffs. He then has the unique transformation, which has upsides and downsides. The pros are that Muarim can transform permanently once turn 4 happens, and he can transform next to non-beast or dragons. The cons is that he's always untransformed on turn 1 and 3, plus he takes recoil damage, which means eventually he's going to start to get lower and lower. Muarim could have trouble if the action happens too quickly, but you could also set up a transformation on turn 2 that you couldn't do with other beast units. He offers some flexibility when it comes to team composition, especially in Arena where generally a lot of merge projects aren't beasts or dragons. I think it's an interesting aspect to his gameplay, and even untransformed he's not bad at all. The guy is still super fast, he applies T-buffs, and he gets rid of enemy field buffs. Overall, Fallen Muarim's an awesome Grand Hero battle unit. He provides strong offensive power with debuff support, and he can utilize the tempo effect of beast infantry units to get consistent specials or deny fast charging enemy specials. Not getting instantly bonfired by all those city breath abusers is a very good plus for any offensive unit. As for some downsides, we don't have unique beast skills just yet, and I don't know if they're gonna get the same treatment as dragons have. Not having access to the other speedy infantry skills like Dodge or Vital Astra does sting a bit, and no Ruptured Sky either if you wanted a high SP 2 cooldown special. Still, Fallen Muarim is a fantastic new addition to any barrack, and I love the uniqueness he brings to the beast class. Very happy with this implementation. That's all I got for this video. Let me know your thoughts on our newest Fallen Grand Hero battle unit. Check out my other videos on this month's refines or the Fallen banner itself, and I'll be back to talk about the next batch of Ephemeral Combat manuals. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.